So today we are talking about some of the special books in your collection. These are franchise books?
Yeah, like licensed books. So
Okay.
everything is characters or from TV shows or something like that. A lot of them are brands that were meant to be everything that they could be: TV shows, books, toys, tchotchke, you name it.
When we were growing up, like that was a very big deal, was to get a book that was like Happy Days or Flintstones or whatever, because like books were very, very important in our worlds.
Funny you should say Flintstones. This is not the exact copy I had as a child, but this is one of the earliest character books I remember having. Wilma's Busy Day.
That's awesome. I love that it still has like the old price tag on it
Right?
too. Like it just puts you back in a place in time when you see those.
It really does. And I actually look for that sort of thing. You see a bit of that with some of these books sitting
Yeah.
here.
So are any of these like from your childhood?
A few of them are. That one, like I said, not that copy, but a couple of them here. This one, I very distinctly remember. Now, this is actually a book and record, which, as you can see, there's a bunch of
Yeah.
them here,
Very popular in our house.
and a very collectible thing. This is one I remember going into the department store in Roston with my dad and buying when I was a child, and I came across it recently and was very excited to find it.
Now
So
that
was
is
kind of
amazing.
fun.
I love the variety. Like it's not just like strawberry shortcake, but you've got Transformers and Care Bears and Cabbage Patch Kids and like they pretty much made books for everything.
They really did. And because I love 80s toys and licensing in general, but you can't collect everything. You can't buy
No.
every toy you see. Or, I mean, come on. But this is an area where I will let myself go loose a little bit. So I've got Rainbow Bright, and I've got DuckTales, and I've got Herbie the Love Bug, and I've got like
So
all
good.
sorts of things. This is an area where I will let myself buy pretty much anything I see that falls in the time frame of when I was growing up.
Well, and like a lot of them can be found pretty cheap.
They can, and in particular, Little Golden Books are an example of that. And
Ah.
stay tuned, you're going to hear more about Little Golden Books a little bit in the future. But what I love about these is anything and everything that could be made into a book was made into Little Golden Books. Here we have The Wizard of Oz, we have The Love Bug, we have Cabbage Patch, we have Barbie.
Yeah.
And you can still find these super cheap at thrift stores or at antique malls or that kind of thing, and they still make them. So that's really cool.
Do you ever make the error of like buying a book that you already have?
Possibly. I may have 3 copies of Hansel and Gretel.
The temptation to craft with some of this stuff too must be pretty high.
Well, it's funny you should say that because some of these books that I remember, and they wouldn't have been so much character books, but Little Golden Books and children's books in general, one of my earliest memories of that was my mother doing that. She was making things to use in church to show with pictures, and she bought some of these Little Golden Books specifically to craft with.
Yeah.
And yeah, the temptation is there.
Well, and the price point is right, and you get a really glossy, nice image too. So I hate to say, like, cut up books, but sometimes, like, the temptation really is there.
Well, and sometimes you can find them and they aren't in great shape anymore, and that can
Right.
breathe new life into it as well.
Totally. I love putting these in the hands of kids, but I also love putting them into my hands and, like, taking a little walk down memory lane.
Right, and when I was preparing for this and I was kind of deciding what we were going to lay out on the table here, I found stuff I had forgotten I had, and that was super exciting. And I was like, oh, yeah, I really need to go back and look at these again.
So, is there a favorite here?
Well, apart from Strawberry Shortcake, which everybody knows
Yes.
is my favorite, and then Fraggle Rock, which is another big one. One of the things that I really like here is this series, Rose Petal Place,
Oh.
which is not something everybody remembers.
I
but
don't know that one.
It was a toy line from the 80s that only lasted a year. It was intended to last longer, but for whatever reason it didn't. But there were a couple of animated specials starring Marie Osmond.
Wow.
Go figure. And this was a really well thought out licensing brand because everything kind of tied nicely together. They had a world that they created and it just worked really well, and they especially did a nice job of the storybooks.
Yeah. It's funny then that it didn't take off the way that, you know, My Little Pony or
Yeah.
Strawberry Shortcake did.
Exactly. For whatever reason it just didn't, but it's a nice little slice of the 80s for sure.
That's awesome. Well, I am eyeing up your copy of Return from Witch Mountain, which was a Disney favorite for sure. I always liked those ones that were like a little bit scary, like Watcher in the Woods. And
This would be another one like that, Return to Oz. And this is actually also from my, well, I say childhood. I was 12 or 13 at that point.
that counts.
But-
That counts. And then these are from my collection, but I think we'll leave these for another day because that's like a whole nother thing where it's like movies and TV shows had novelizations and had adventures that went beyond the episodes. Like they weren't a rehash of one of the shows. It was actually a new adventure, but with all your favorite old characters.
And one of the great things about stuff like this is if you were the kind of child who loved this kind of thing, you're probably going to be the kind of adolescent and young adult who loves this sort of thing.
Who would grow into that.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's still a thing.
It is.
These are Strawberry Shortcake books from the most recent continuity. So these came out in 2023. I just got these. So yeah, this is still something you can do if you're interested in licensing or animation. There are still character books being made all the time.
Yeah. Well, like Bluey. That's
right?
Exploding right now. Everybody loves Bluey and there's tons of books. So it's a great thing, like I said, to put into the hands of a child. And if you're looking for gift suggestions for Christmas coming up, get them a book.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing these in. They're super awesome.
You're very welcome. This is one of my favorite things to talk about.
Awesome. We will have more books in the next episode. So check it out. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.